to my new segment on this channel. It's called Generational Trauma. And today we have with us, who are you guys?
I'm Bella. I'm your daughter.
Okay.
I'm girlfriend. I'm Haley.
Okay. Sounds good. And so are you guys into horror movies at all?
No.
I like 80s stuff that's not scary, or 90s. Yeah. But that's it.
Do you like the corny stuff so far?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you've watched recently? Because I know you guys, but like nobody else does. So I know last year during Halloween, you guys started watching some horror movies, right?
We watched all like the classic big ones.
Like Freddy Krueger.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Friday.
There you go.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys watched Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which one did you watch?
The first one.
Did you watch the original or did you watch the Rob Zombie one?
No, the original.
The original one.
It was very slow. Very. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and
so
the old Carrie versus the new Carrie. We did that.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So have any of them scared you yet? Or like, I know 80s can be kind of creepy, but
the only one that like actually kind of weirds me out is The Shining, but that's like more like a psychological weirding out.
Which is ironic that I haven't posted a YouTube video in almost a year. And the last video I posted was at Timberline Lodge, which is what they use for the outside of the Overlook Hotel in The Shining. So, yeah.
Beautiful hotel.
There you go. All right. So let's talk about why we chose Creepshow 2, or I should say why I chose Creepshow 2 to make you guys watch. We didn't pick one because we are trying to watch movies that are on streaming channels to make it easier for the girls. I have an extensive like DVD and Blu-ray collection. They don't. So we're trying to find movies that are easily accessible for them as well. And Creepshow, the first movie, is not on any streaming networks that we share or have in common, so that was a little hard. But also I chose Creepshow 2 because that was the first one I ever watched out of all of them. I watched it with my dad when I was like 9 years old, so I kind of wanted to share that with them. So all right, so we have the DVD here and we're going to read the description on the back. Okay, Creepshow 2. Join our old friend, the rotting creep himself, as he introduces a horror anthology which presents gruesome looks at the three tales of horror. A hit-and-run driver in The Hitchhiker, a wooden Indian on the warpath in Old Chief Woodenhead, and four friends who vacation in a secluded lake turns into a nightmare in the Raft. Would have helped if I had better lighting in here. All right, so maybe we could talk about each story separately. So let's talk about Old Chief Woodenhead. That was the first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Old Chief Woodenhead was the first one, and then the lake was the second one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The Hitchhiker was the last.
So what did you guys think of Old Chief Woodenhead? So I know how Haley feels already about the movie, but like try and think of something that like you guys liked about it, some things that they could have done better, and obviously some stuff you didn't like. So.
Yeah. So the thing that I liked, it kind of like skips towards the end, but is that that was holding a scalpel in his hand at the end. I wasn't expecting it to be that gory because it was very like slow leading up to it. There wasn't any like gore or anything like that until like the ending, and so that part kind of surprised me.
So did you guys know that Stephen King wrote them?
Yes, because they said it in the beginning.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if you guys paid attention. They also did the first one. So Stephen King and George A. Romero. Now, George A. Romero is the one that did Night of the Living Dead. So So he was a very big horror icon. He has passed away, a couple of years ago, I believe. But yeah, so it was kind of like their love child coming together. So yeah. So what are some things that you guys think they could have done better?
But it could have been scary.
Yeah. Now, this is just for the audience. One of the reasons why I wanted Bella and Haley to do this with me is because how old are you guys?
22.
Yep. And so if you see them drinking, it is legal. It's fine. And I'm 43. So when I watch these movies, this is, I believe in 1987 is when this one came out. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 1987. So long before Bella was ever even thought of. And I was pretty little and it scared the crap out of me. But, a little 9-year-old me, and way before they ever had CGI or anything like that, I thought it looked pretty real in my little kid eyes. But since, they're not familiar with a lot of horror movies, especially like older movies, I thought that this would be a good one to start with. So, but yeah.
We were watching it and she's like, who would think this is scary?
Little kids. Yeah. I remember when Bella was really little, which I probably shouldn't have, but I, would make her watch stuff anyway. And I had her watch the original Psycho. And I remember the whole time she's like, that's it? I thought something worse was going to happen. So I think a lot of the time your imagination can be a lot scarier than what you're actually seeing.
The whole time during Psycho, I kept thinking that his mother was going to be like stuffed, like taxidermied or
Well, she
something.
was kind of.
Kind of. I just thought it was going to be worse. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of like. Oh. Well, I think a lot of like the older horror movies, especially if you even go beyond this, like even with the Universal Studio, like monster movies, they are very slow. They're very like, I don't know. I think it leaves a lot to the imagination. I don't know. They are a lot different, a lot less jump scares than we have today, for sure.
I think that's why I didn't think it was like scary. It's not like the monsters or the ghosts or exorcisms or whatever. It's the jump scares.
Oh, kitty. Yeah, for sure. This is definitely more goofy and kind of like hits all those like 80s horror marks where it's just kind of silly, a lot of bad jokes and all of that. Yeah. So Haley, the thing I was going to tell you, remember we were talking about that show Mindhunter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the guy in Old Chief Woodenhead, the nephew with the long hair, the bad guy or whatever, he's in that.
Cool.
But he's an old white dude because he's white. In real life. Huh. Yeah, they used to do that a lot in the 80s too,
That's weird.
I didn't even question
me either.
His, yeah.
You what?
I guess we didn't question the
ethnicity.
Yeah.
I guess the what would you call it? The brown face makeup? I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. I actually recently found that out not that long ago, and I'm like, what? It was, didn't realize. But yeah. So what do you think of it overall? Could be more scary.
Could be more scary.
I liked it though. I liked how it kept bouncing back to like the animated kid.
Oh yeah, the creep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So something about the creep. That was Tom Savini. Bella, you know him because I made you watch From Dusk Till Dawn, and he was the guy that had the gun in his crotch.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's a very well-known special effects makeup artist. He is really famous for doing the original makeup on the original Friday the 13th movie. So, yeah. And then he does some cameos. He's also directed some other movies and stuff. But we might get more into that later. But yeah, so did you guys have any questions? Any comments?
Kind of. I had like a comment, I guess. I don't know.
Mhm.
The wooden Indian, as they called him, he
Mhm.
that reminded me of like stuff that I have had to learn about indigenous populations being used as advertisement for natural areas and like
Oh, yeah.
national parks and stuff. Because that's kind of like what it looked like. It was like an outside town from a national park. And
Mhm.
I don't know, I've never seen it like in the media now because I haven't really grown up with that.
Yeah,
But
they don't do that
yeah,
anymore.
so it was interesting to see that. And,
Yeah, and when they did do that, they weren't always actual indigenous people.
Yeah.
Obviously, like the show, but they had some questionable commercials where they use, like indigenous imagery, but they weren't. So Hollywood was very notorious for doing that for a long time. So the next one is the Raft. Now, what did you guys think of that?
I didn't like that one.
What?
I don't think I like that one.
Why not?
Haley pointed out something like, I know that it's like the 80s, kind of like cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of looked like a blanket in water is what she kept saying.
Yeah, but I rewatched it because I hadn't watched it in a long time. And so I was like, okay, I got to refresh my memory. And Ben was kind of watching it with me. He's all, it looks like a garbage bag. Yeah. He's all, that looks terrible.
Like when it like backs away where it's not like really close to it, it looks like a comforter painted black.
Yeah.
That's like lumpy. I don't know.
I mean, who knows? It might have been.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. Yeah. It's funny watching stuff like that when you're older, like when you were a kid and you're terrified of it. And then you're older and you're like, yeah, it does look like a garbage bag or a comforter painted black.
I don't know. I think that one was just my least favorite in general for a bunch of different reasons. I like their outfits in the beginning.
And then there's that weird rapey scene.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I guess I don't mean to laugh, but that was something that, I warned Bella about. I was like, 80s are notorious for kind of rapey scenes, where it's like, I mean, you think about, what is it? Is it 16 Candles? Like where the one blonde chick gets drunk and it's not, it was so common back then that it's like nobody thought anything of it when it was happening. But then now it's like you watch it and you're like, oh, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. What like kind of messed me up is that guy did that and then got so close to escaping and you're kind of like rooting for him to get out of it because he's the last one. And that just kind of felt like gross. But then he gets eaten. I
think when I was little, like when I first watched it, I was kind of rooting for him to get out of it. But then like this time when I was watching, I was like, yeah, you got eaten. And Lester. It's kind of funny like how your thought process can change on stuff. So what's everybody drinking today?
Water.
Vodka and strawberry watermelon Crystal Light.
Oh, Crystal Light.
Yeah, my mom is all, you're drinking a lot of sugars. And
yep, get those electrolytes in there.
Yeah.
Let's see your glass. Show us your glass, Haley. Cute.
Witches.
Very appropriate. I like a fancy glass.
It's the same glass. That's just water though.
Sweet. And I am drinking pumpkin coffee beer, which does not taste as bad as that sounds.
No, I've had some really good pumpkin beer. I think, was it Two Town Ciders that made one? Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Was there anything that you did like about the Raft?
Their skin melting off. That sounds so creepy. No,
I like it too. That's like the only good like effect out of that one, I think.
Yeah, it looked pretty realistic.
Yeah.
going sorry to bring this up again, but because the thing looked like fabric, but then they'd pull their arm out and it'd be covered in goo.
Like
It just looked really weird. And then the stuff that was squeezing up between the raft,
like this line.
It looked so much thicker than what was like on their skin. It was just very inconsistent.
Yep, I agree. I also kind of wondered too, I was like, if it could reach up and get him at the end or like become gooey like that, why couldn't it reach up through the cracks? I don't understand. It's like it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. That one almost felt like a filler one, because there weren't like a lot of, there wasn't like a scenery change or anything like that. It just seemed very simple.
True. So I have a little piece of trivia about that one. Daniel Beer, who played Randy in The Raft, almost died from hypothermia while filming. The water was so cold his body turned green. The crew wanted him to continue acting, but the director said if they get him to keep working, he will walk off the set and never return. So they had to take him to the hospital until he had a full recovery. So someone actually almost died.
That's some commitment to the role.
Yeah, that's crazy. So was there anything that you liked or disliked, Haley, besides the blanket?
I don't know. I thought the concept itself was a pretty cool concept. It didn't explain anything, but the concept itself is pretty good.
Yeah. I think that, for just personally, I think in that kind of setting, especially like short story wise, I kind of like it when they don't explain stuff. Like that's just, whatever. But watching it again after so many years, there's a lot of stuff they could have done better, like especially with the consistencies and all of that and the effects, but of course. So I guess they had a special effects makeup artist at the time named Ed French. Well, he left the film during the filming of The Raft after being snubbed by the director, who turned to someone else for advice on how to fix the blob monster. So evidently they weren't very happy with the blob monster either. And so they had a different special effects artist come in and finish it because the guy, I guess, was upset that they didn't like what he did. But, maybe that probably contributed to why it didn't look really good.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. The Raft is actually based on one of Stephen King's short stories, which I did not know, which is also named The Raft, that he wrote in 1982. But the other two stories out of the movie, I guess, were original ones. So The Hitchhiker. How'd you guys feel about that?
Thanks for the ride, lady.
I thought that one, like how you said The Raft was like a filler or whatever. I didn't like that one. I feel like that one was like...
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to that one. Like I watched it, I paid attention, but like
it's hard to...
wasn't intrigued. She just kept like hitting a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that one. It was... I like seeing like half of his body on the front of the car. I thought that was really funny. Because, I don't know. It looked very fake. That's kind of why.
Yeah.
And I think along with the fakeness, you can tell that she wasn't like... I mean, obviously she's like an actress, but like you could really tell she was really trying to act.
Yeah, she wasn't scared enough.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. After rewatching it the other night, I agree with that. Yeah. So what were some things that you did like?
I like that she kept talking to herself. That was kind of funny. Because like relatable.
Yeah. I apologize.
It's okay. No. Hey, Noodle. Everybody, that is Noodle.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the beginning of it. Like it told an actual story. Like she was going, like she got done doing something, and was coming back home, trying to think of it like this, like a make up like a story or like
So
cover
it actually
itself.
had like a plot.
Yeah, it had like step by step. Whereas like the raft, it kind of let's jump out into this raft. Oh no. Yeah.
So did you tell Haley the story about Grandpa?
No, I did not.
Grandpa Brian.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I was little, I thought that was the scariest thing I'd ever seen. But it was like
That's funny.
but it
Like
was
knowing
like,
who you are.
I know, but being a kid though, being a child, like, okay, so I watched my first scary movie that was rated R when I was probably like 5 or 6, and it was Friday the 13th. I didn't get to watch very many scary movies after that with my dad because my mom was like, "Oh, you're gonna give her nightmares," and whatever. But that was like one of the other first scary movies that I watched. So, being little, it's pretty terrifying. So my dad would always come up behind me and always go, "Thanks for the ride, lady." It would always scare the crap out of me. Well, even though it scared me, I would watch it over and over again whenever it was on. Like, back then we didn't have movies, or obviously we didn't have streaming networks or anything like that. So it was like, we had cable. So occasionally it would be played on like HBO or something. So when it was on, I'd always watch it. Well, I had my best friend, her name was Raylene, and she came over and stayed the night. Well, I had a big, like, queen size bed at that time. And we were just going to sleep in this, in the bed. We always did that. We were little kids, whatever. So we watched the movie and she was like, "That wasn't scary." I was like, "Okay, whatever." And my parents were already in bed, because it was late at night. So we went to bed and we shut the door and we tried to go to sleep. And all of a sudden you could hear scratching. And I was like, "So did you hear that?" And she's like, "I didn't hear anything." And I was like, "Are you sure?" Again. And then you could hear the doorknob like rattle. And she jumps up. She's like, "I heard that." And so we're sitting there like hanging on to each other like this, and the doorknob's rattling. They're scratching. All of a sudden, like this bright light shines through the cracks in the door and we're screaming, hanging on to each other. And then we hear a chainsaw and it's like the door's shaking and rattling and we're screaming. And all of a sudden I hear my mom and she's like, "God damn it, Brian, leave those girls alone and get to bed." And I was like, it was my dad. And he was just scratching on the door, shaking the doorknob. The light was, the light from the hallway. But when you're a kid and you're terrified, everything seems a lot more than it is. And the chainsaw, he went and got his coffee grinder, plugged it in the bathroom and pressed it up against the door.
That's funny.
And I think it was when they came up last June to go to the graduation. I said something to my dad about that. I was like, "Do you remember doing that?" And he's like, "No." But it sounds like something I would do. I was like, "Yeah, you did it." I tell people
him in like semi-formal situations, so I can never imagine him doing anything like that.
Oh my God. He always does stuff like that. But yeah, it's usually to scare my mom. But yeah, he really got me, and that's something that I will always remember.
It's like a normal Tuesday for him.
Right. But it's like, I think that might also contribute to the fact why I like the movie so much. I've got all these like weird little memories attached to it. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure you guys have movies too where you watch it as a kid, and then like when you try to show it to other people that didn't grow up with it, they're kind of like, okay, like whatever. Yeah,
all the time. Every movie I ever showed to Izzy.
We've grown up with very different movies. I grew up with you, and then
I grew up with Disney Channel.
Yeah.
So let's see your guys' shirts you're wearing.
Mine says Fright Town.
Bella, what's Fright Town?
Fright Town is an old haunted house kind of thing. It's like a warehouse that has 3 haunted houses in it. And it was in like just outside of downtown Portland, but they closed down and they don't do it anymore. But
it's sad.
They were very, very successful.
Yeah, they were around for a really long time. Let's see your shirt, Haley.
Oh, this is
Got some
it.
trick-or-treaters.
They're
so
all
cute.
skeletons as a witch, a pumpkin, a ghost, and a vampire devil guy.
I love it. Cool. So overall, what was your favorite and your least favorite story out of the three?
My favorite was
Probably the first one.
I forgot what it was called.
The first one?
Yeah.
Old Chief Woodenhead?
Yes.
I liked they had a story.
I like that one because it was like he was doing it for good. You know,
And it
was a
was totally
revenge story,
unexpected. I wasn't expecting the statue to come alive. Like,
yeah. One of the things that I noticed this time around watching it that I didn't notice before is you can see him breathing.
really? Yeah.
Yeah. You can see him breathing or move a little bit. So it was obviously like a guy in a costume the entire time. But yeah, you know,
no idea.
yeah. I never noticed it before and I was like, he's moving. And something that Ben pointed out to me too when he shot the old couple that owned the store. When the bad guys were sitting there talking, you could see like them dead in the background, but you could see the old man just breathing. It's like he's still alive and he's breathing hard.
He's a heavy breather.
Yeah, no.
I normally notice stuff like that. Like when people die, I'm like, ugh, not actually.
Yeah.
But
Something I noticed, I noticed that more like if I watch a movie a second time around. Because like if I watch it at first, I usually don't catch all that stuff because if it's something I'm interested in, I'm just kind of like focused in on what's happening. And then after a while, you're like, oh, what the hell is that?
yeah.
So do you guys have any plans for Halloween?
We're going to get drunk in the driveway and pass out candy.
That sounds good.
I plan.
Yeah, I'm excited to hand candy out to trick-or-treaters.
Nice. Are you guys dressing up?
Yes, we just bought our costume for the earliest time ever in existence.
It might change.
It might change.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what is it so far, or is it a surprise?
Do you want it to be a surprise? It's pretty basic.
Because I don't know if it's gonna stick.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a surprise.
Yeah. We did buy a bald cap.
Yes, that's not part of the costume, but we did. We were walking around Spirit Halloween and they always sell out of fishnets. So we immediately grabbed some fishnets because I'm a fishnet person. And then we were talking like, what can we do with fishnets for me? That's funny, but cute. And bald cap is funny. So we got a bald cap.
I think you should,
we're not going to use it for a gift or for a costume, but Izzy wants to make me bald one day and we're going to play around.
I want to play around with it, but I told her if you look, hold on, you should look this up. Sexy Patrick Star. And it's from
the SpongeBob movie, and at the end he's wearing like fishnets.
Oh, I know what it is.
I think she should put on the bald cap and I should paint her pink.
But that's such like, I mean, it wouldn't be like basic the way you want to do it, but like that costume is a really like basic costume that's been going around for a couple years that like everybody does. I don't want to do that, so
you'll be different with the bald cap. It'll be more realistic.
I was more of like a sexy Mr. Clean.
Oh, I've seen a good sexy Mr. Clean on TikTok.
Oh my god,
was doing like a whole thing. It was really good, but also slightly disturbing.
Exactly, that's what I want.
That would be a good one. Well, anybody who might be watching, if you have ideas for Haley, as long as she can be bald for her costume, list them down below. See what happens.
Yeah.
So are you guys do you have any fun events happening? Well, first off, why don't you tell everybody where you guys are at, where you live?
Right now we're in North Carolina.
In a nowhere town. It's like a pit in the state. There's not anything.
There's some stuff. There's a lot of haunted stuff going on out here.
Like haunted houses type thing.
Cornfields and
yeah.
Ooh.
And Haley's
Nope.
She's like, no.
And scaredy cat and doesn't want to go. And so her mom is talking about going with me.
I'm the
And
driver. I'll sit in the car. And
Yeah.
That's
drive
cool.
up.
yeah.
I'm sure that they have like a snack station or something. You can get some snacks while you're waiting for them.
That's what I was thinking, but I don't want to get out of the car and someone jump out at me while I'm
As
like
they
waiting.
will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna like bring snacks, pack a lunch.
There you go.
Not my cup of tea. So
But
yeah.
Cool.
think-
Well, I'm sure like are there places that are showing like scary movies or like have other type of, so I don't know if Bella told you, I was looking at like an event calendar that is happening in your town or like near your town for Halloween. And it was all stuff like CrossFit Halloween. And I'm like, what the hell is that?
That sounds
And it was,
terrible.
I know, I was like, how is that whole, like, I don't understand that.
I think that sounds worse than a haunted house.
there's a Hallows Eve party from DJ Pauly D.
Oh,
That's-
yes.
that's what she
That's,
wants.
we could go Polly D it up.
that's in New York.
No,
It's in Raleigh,
Yeah.
isn't it?
an hour
Oh,
away.
why did I think it was New York, Bella? Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I put North.
Maybe I didn't read your text very well. She said
Read
something
the-
about
the
Pauly
end
D. For
part.
some reason, I thought she said New York. I was like, oh, okay. That's funny. Yeah, you should do that. I'm sure that there's probably like little parties and stuff, around, probably at some bars or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll find something.
We'll find something.
Yeah.
We're thinking about having a Halloween party because my mom overbought decorations.
I love
It's
it.
just like a corner bit and piece of stuff.
I love it.
She was
But yeah.
frantically putting it together when I said, "Oh, we have a half hour before we gotta do it."
She was like, oh my God, you need a backdrop.
Yeah.
And she insisted that you can't even see it, which, yeah.
I can
But
see it. It looks good.
Our chairs are the exact same chair because we were going to sit in 2 different types of chairs, and that's just not good enough. So
She wanted to make sure that we were the same
Can't
height.
see the chairs, but okay.
great.
Everything else looks really good. Everything else looks great. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to say about the movie or?
No. Is the new TV show still kind of
Oh,
cheesy, or is it?
yes. So I forgot. Anybody who's watching, I did tell them that there is a current TV show, current meaning within the past couple of years. We talked about possibly watching that. And to answer Bella's question, yes, they are all cheesy, but with updated special effects and different writers. So, we might be able to do that sometime, do a, like an episode watching one of them, because we discovered that there's 2 stories in each episode. So it's really short. Or depending on how this goes, if you guys are interested in keeping up on this as well, and everybody who might be watching, let us know what you think. But in the holiday season, they do a whole holiday episode.
Holiday episode?
Yeah. Well, there's also that's an option, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah.
I want to watch something that's like scary.
Yes, I told Bella and everybody else watching, my goal is to scare them. So if you guys have suggestions for movies, list them down below. I would like to kind of keep it like in the like an older like time frame, like movies that weren't as recent. So let us know like what you think. I don't know.
You wanted to
I
take
will
me
say, you guys watch the new Pet Cemetery, right?
on accident.
I
went
thought
to-
it was a children's movie.
So we went to the movie theater to go see
The cemetery in the title?
No, we went to the movie. We went to go see Shazam, and that was it. We went to the wrong theater, and all they had showing coming up was Pet Cemetery, and I was like, we can try it.
Again, people remember they don't watch scary movies by choice regularly.
I thought it was like at least gonna be like in the same similar like age range as Shazam. So we like went in and we were both really scared. And like the entire time, like every 5 or 10 minutes, we both of us like taking turns doing it. We were like, do you want to go? Like, should we leave now? Like, let's go. But we ended up staying.
It's so funny to me because I have a feeling like if you guys were to watch the original Pet Sematary, you probably have the same feels about it as kind of like this. Not that the original Pet Sematary is goofy or funny or whatever, but it is slower. But to me, it is so much scarier than the new one. I don't know. There was no Zelda in the new one.
There was
like one other person in the theater.
So no, there's quite a few people in the theater.
Really?
Yeah, but when the little girl just gets like thrown, we laughed so hard, and nobody else in the theater was laughing. So yeah, that was kind of awkward there. But
she got yeeted. Is that what you say? All right, cool. Well, so again, people, if you have a suggestion on what movies we should watch next, please list them down below sooner than later, because I would like to get another one out. I plan on doing, if you guys are okay with it, I plan on doing maybe like 1 or 2 more before Halloween, if that's okay. I would really like to do a Halloween themed one or something that takes place in Halloween. Have you guys watched Trick or Treat?
That is the one that we haven't watched. Remember?
I've never heard of it.
Yes, you have. You pointed at it.
It's
oh, with Sam? No, I haven't seen that.
Okay. So it's another anthology, which Bella, you learned what that means. What does that mean?
It means something with multiple stories.
Good job. So this one, I will say Trick or Treat is great. I love that one a lot. And the transition. So all the stories are connected, but they are all each their separate stories. And there's a lot of people, that might be a good one to watch for you guys, because even though it's not older, it will have a lot of people in it that you guys will probably recognize. And you guys might be able to identify with it a little bit better. So that might be good. We'll see. We might also wait to do that one until it gets closer to Halloween. I'm really weird. I have my certain Halloween traditions. I always watch that. If not on Halloween, I watch it like really close to Halloween. I'm weird. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in that, we'll do that. We'll see what like the audience suggests too. I'm also going to post this on some of my horror forums that I'm a part of and see what they also suggest. I don't know if I told you guys, I don't remember, but the idea for this I posted like months ago when Bella and I were just briefly talking about it, asking people if they would be interested in watching, like me who just grew up watching nothing but horror, review a movie that to younger people who aren't really into horror, and see like how, how each of us kind of think about that. So cool. So thank you for taking part in this.
Of course.
I think it's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah. Maybe we can do a pumpkin carving party.
We could do that.
It's up to you. It might be messy though.
We want to be in it too.
Yeah, of course. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I would be down. Of course, I have to have, this is my other tradition, I have to have Night of the Living Dead playing in the background.
Okay.
When I was a little kid, the first time I ever watched Night of the Living Dead was, I think it was the night before Halloween or a couple nights before Halloween. My dad turned it on so we could watch it while we carved pumpkins. And my mom and my friend Raylene, who she babysat, they didn't want to watch it. So they like went in the other room and watched TV because they didn't want to watch scary movies. So my dad and I stayed out in the living room and carved pumpkins and watched it. So I watch it every year when I carve pumpkins. So
nice.
Anyway, so I don't know if you guys want to do this or not, but do you want to tell anybody where they can find you on social media?
I do. I have social media.
I like that. All right, Haley, where can people find you on social media?
Oh, my handle's really long.
It's okay.
Okay. My Instagram is _Haley _Renee _.
I'll try and like post it down below too, like in the description section of the video.
My Instagram handle is Isabella R. Campbell.
Are there any underscores?
No.
Hashes?
Nope, she's real
Very
simple.
simple.
Okay.